Yeah.
We can start.
All right. And welcome to another Wealthfare interview. Today, we are fortunate to have the team of Fitsurance with us. Thank you guys for doing this with us.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us. Yes.
Thanks for having us, man.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
On that very note, I would like to ask the first question. The first question that I would like to begin with is, why did you start with Fitsurance, and how did you get an idea about the same? And from an idea, how did it culminate to a startup? So if you could just elucidate about the same, that would be great.
So I think in our master degree, we already saw that there's actually a lot of knowledge known within the discipline, but it often ends up on the bookshelf of the scientist and it's not really implemented in society. And what we basically started as an initiative to bridge the gap between science and society. And basically, along the way, we found out that the best way for implementation is through valorization. If you can valorize it and make it into an interesting product that the end consumer is willing to pay for him or herself, that's one of the best ways to implement knowledge.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I second, maybe just couple of additions. Yeah, exactly. That's how it started. Steph and Tommy were master's candidates. I was a PhD candidate at that time. Our department is called Human Movement Science, which, well, in English, you can also say it's like kinesiology, biomechanics. Yeah, so this was the idea. And also in our doctoral studies, it is also encouraged that exactly the same thing happens. So whatever research we do, it all ends up in a pile of thesis or pile of papers, which only the academic community probably reads. And probably my parents also don't know what I have done over the past 5 years. So that's the gap that we identified that is happening with science all over the world. That's happening, irrespective of whatever good quality research that we are trying to do. So valorization or like entrepreneurship or starting up any new venture is very much welcome and very much encouraged, at least in European academia. So because it's from Netherlands. So that is how Fitsurance started, and yeah, it was basically a class project. The course was called Entrepreneurship in Human Movement Science. The final project was called Fitsurance, yeah, and started in 2018, I think. Yeah, and yeah, that's how it happened.
Officially February 2019.
Yes.
Yeah, incubated at least.
Yeah, incubated in 2019.
Incorporated, yeah. Sorry, incorporated in 2019.
Incorporated, sorry, yes.
Yeah. So before we delve into that, for the uninitiated, how does Fitsurance work in a way that its appeal could be charted to a consumer, an employer, an athlete, and a professional?
Maybe Tommy?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear it very clearly.
Yeah,
Can you maybe repeat the question one more time,
Yeah. For the uninitiated, how does Fitsurance work in a way that its appeal could be charted to a consumer, an employer, an athlete, and a professional?
Yeah, so I guess you got this from the website.
Yeah.
The website, to be honest, in that sense, the website is a little bit outdated. Initially, we had the service that we thought of with the three of us. And this service we saw applicable in different situations, being it for an employer, being it for a professional, an athlete, also diabetics perhaps. So a lot of different insights or different ways you can implement this in society. However, master of all is what do you say? Master of all, Jack of
Jack of all trades, master of none.
No focus means no revenue, so we have to focus more. So indeed, on the website, you will see 4 different categories, basically 4 different target groups. Although now we've targeted more on the high achievers / self-quantifiers / balance seekers. So people want to be more healthy and know that health is something that is a life choice. And apart from that, we're working with parties, so partners basically. So the service that we provide is an add-on to different other services. Now, so to come to your question, we do not target all 4 individually anymore. It's just that all those 4 different target groups may benefit or will benefit from our service. but it's not tailored specifically to it.
No, and I think within
Collective
all,
appeal, you would say. The appeal is the same for all.
It's the same product, same service.
yeah, and we can always give you more insight into your health and current specific tips to improve that. And for example, if we see that you have a very high risk profile for diabetes, for example, we could specifically check up on diabetes more regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, the fact that it's so personalized, the service makes it applicable to different target groups. The only thing is, marketing-wise, it's not a smart idea.
Understood. So on that note, so are you trying to say that it's going to be an add-on to insurance policies or a direct product to companies for the well-being of their employees? So how do we put it across in that?
Yeah, so eventually our goal is to have it implemented or at least subsidized or paid for by the insurance company, because they will be the largest stakeholders, since the social impact is a reduce of healthcare costs. So they will be the highest benefiters, the biggest benefiters. The only thing is, in order to get a insurance company on your side, you will need traction proof concept. This is something that we are working on right now, and so targeting those insurance companies will be in a 2-3 year project.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is also the initial idea, so that's why the name was called Fitsurance. Yeah, to have it included in a health insurance program. So yeah, of course it needs traction. We talked to several insurance companies actually in The Hague and Amsterdam over there in the Netherlands, and this is so the unanimous thing was that come up to us 5-10 years down the line when you have validated your concept in the market or something like that, where you can show that public is not only using it, is probably also benefiting it, something like that, because then they would be more interested in it. And there's also some sort of incentive for these insurance companies these days, because so first of all, they are so the cost is skyrocketing. So healthcare cost is going up, and every year the basic premiums go up. And there's also some sort of feeling that they are too curative at this moment. So because you only use insurances when you have like surgeries or something like that, when you are really stuck down with a disease, then only these insurance companies come up with their rules or something. So pay for your costs. So it's also an incentive for them probably to have or to imbibe these sort of preventative concepts, because we are on the other spectrum. We really want to prevent diseases through movement, through proper diet, through guidance, through nudges, what have you. So so we really do think that's the ultimate goal. But it will take time, and well, whatever we are doing all these years is we are building up towards something like that, you can say, so that we don't have to approach them, maybe they approach us.
And if I can add one more thing, so the fact that we can be as an add-on on different on other partners, other interventions, make sure that you can grow faster as a business, but also you have a higher social impact, because together you can acquire more than just one company, right? So we do the measurement, and we give movement advice, but then another party can measure the blood sugar and help on diet advice. So search for synergies is always a way to go.
Now, sort of transitioning to COVID, we understand that Fitsurance has made many business decisions during COVID to pivot into a more scalable and better model. So could you all tell us a little bit about the thought process that went into making these changes and what they were?
Yeah, so I think in order to screen for certain diseases, often you need to measure a lot of health variables. Also, a lot of them which you cannot measure online. For example, grip strength. How forcefully can you squeeze? And basically, our whole business model was based upon these offline health measurements. And during COVID, this was not possible anymore. So we tried to make the next best thing completely online. So we tried to measure as many relevant health variables as we can, in combination with some kind of self measurements where you measure your own weight, waist circumference. And in that regard, yeah, try to make a reduced version of the health screening that you can do completely at home. And we sent some stuff to your house, a very tiny test tube that you can fill with a couple drops of blood, and you send it back to our laboratory, and we analyze all the results.
Yeah.
So one moment, are you frozen, Steph? Because I think your screen is frozen.
Yeah, my screen is frozen, but I can still hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, doesn't matter. Yeah. Go
Our
ahead.
bandwidth. We will just turn off the camera for a couple of seconds.
Yeah. Maybe that helps. Yeah, because I can also hear you clearly. So maybe it's indeed the bandwidth. Okay. Yeah, but
All right. So we have some technical issues with the
Zoom is not reacting.
But we can hear
You
you,
can still
so
hear
maybe we can just continue like
Okay,
that. Is
let's
that
continue.
fine for you guys at Wealthfare?
I guess if maybe Souvik or Arnab, you guys want to chip in, it could be more equitable also in terms of the responses as well.
Yeah. Of course, I think there are some questions I will also direct to Arnab when it comes to India. So now my question is, if
In the agenda.
the screen from Steph is like this, can we proceed like that, or you want them to rejoin or something?
I think it would be
preferable
if they
We
can.
will start up Zoom on Steph's computer, so we'll be on a different computer in 10 seconds.
Okay, fine.
That will help.
Yeah, good.
Although now, I don't know, Zoom is not reacting.
Yeah, well, sometimes I think if it's like too long, any Zoom session, sometimes it happens.
Right.
But, yeah.
I guess we can come back to this question, and you could.
All right, gentlemen. I hope you can hear us, see us like this.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yeah, both audio and video is back. Yes, go ahead. Yep.
Right. So coming back to the question that is more India centric, wherein so as you all know that now Fitsurance became a part of the SRM Institute of Science and Technology. So what made you choose the incubation route? And as in, could you just enlist a few advantages to why did you particularly choose this route in order to be a part of SRM Institute of Science and Technology?
Yeah, okay. Arnab, do you want to pitch anything like why is incubation necessary, and then I will go into the specifics of why SRM.
Yeah, sure. Yes, our main objective to incubate an SRM and what we are currently doing is market research. Mainly, it is our main focus, at least for this year or maybe for 1.5 years. We want to understand that what is the potential of this healthcare market in India. And as we know, we are in the preventive healthcare. So we just want to analyze that who are the main competitor here doing this type of business model or running this type of business models. Though we are aware that there are some startups who are in these healthcare sectors, but I guess they are not in preventative healthcare. Maybe they are in some e-commerce segment or maybe some subscription-based, some gym subscription or maybe some coupon subscription. Though they are also from e-commerce background, but we are quite different. We are mainly in depth or insight of the healthcare of the of our customers or potential clients, and our business model is both for B2B and B2C. So those startups in India, they are mainly focusing on B2C mainly. Though I'm not aware of the B2B model of there, but yes, we are much focused on B2B as well as B2C. Yes, so we are mainly focused on the market research. What is the potential market potential? How big is the market here? And apart from this, which segment should we introduce first, either B2B model or B2C model, and how to proceed for these two particular segment. And yes, and the revenue generation. What are the possible ways to generate revenue? Because we know that this is a big market. India is quite a big market, and there is a huge opportunity for the healthcare. And there are some government initiatives also being taken by the government for this healthcare. So we are aware that the market is quite big, potential is big, but how to approach in this market? So this is the first, we need to study this for the first 1.5 years. And rest, Shobik, you can explore more regarding how we go forward.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. As Arnab said, so yeah, because we are starting up in India, this whole network, whole background, whole market research is very much necessary. And why incubation? Because I think that that's also the way that worked for us, albeit success, like in a successful manner in Netherlands. We were also incubated first in our university incubation center called the Demonstrator Lab in the VU in Amsterdam, and then we chose to incorporate and then work in the market. So I think that helps because an incubator not only gives you mentorship, but also like it gives like a sense of support, right? Like there are all many startups working together for various solutions, and you can find you can find ways of that working in your favor. So it builds a community, it builds a sense of support, it or definitely gives you mentorship, and it also connects you to the current market, because otherwise you are not aware of the current market where you are geographically located, so as to say. So that is why we chose to do the same incubation route in India also, because just 4 months in India, and also that too in COVID. And why SRM? Because I'm an alumnus of SRM University in Chennai. So my network is very strong over there, not only with the students, but also with the faculty and the business school and the entrepreneurship cell. So I just wanted to leverage that opportunity advantage that I had. Yeah. So that's a very direct decision, you can say.
So, on the heels of the previous question, Fitsurance has been operating in the Netherlands and is now starting operations in India, as you mentioned. How do you think the two markets will differ, and what sort of alterations has the company made to cater to the Indian market?
Yeah, okay. I think I can. Yeah, okay. If you want to say, yeah, maybe Steph, you can explain about the Dutch market, and then I will give the bridge to the Indian one.
Yeah, I think if you only take a look at the geographics of the Netherlands and also the infrastructure that we already have, it's quite feasible to send all these packages via the mail, via just the regular post system. I think this is currently not yet available in parts of India. So maybe you need to bring the test to the people in another way. For example, a bus, for example, the Fitsurance test bus that could drive to specific places and measure people there on the spot. So in that regard, I think that's one of the biggest geographical differences. And I think, of course, there are some cultural differences. For some people in India, it might not even be the case to even think about their health because they might live in different circumstances and they have to worry about other stuff. And I think in the Netherlands, even if you are very poor, even these people should be able to pay such a service.
Yeah, exactly. I think, just continuing on that, what Steph said is, I think we also assume, so this is in our business model canvas of India, we also assume that this would be the case. So the thing is, what I have seen in my past 5 years of experience in the Netherlands is, so first of all, it's a very small country. So geographically, it's very easy to do all these tests. If you go with a bus and do the tests, you can do it in every corner of the country, which is absolutely not possible in India. But I think the culture, no, I won't do it. Yeah. Maybe we need a private plane to do that. Then only. Yeah. But I think the cultural differences are actually the main differential points, I would say, because I think in the Netherlands, people are more, how to say it, like they're more aware of their health in general, and they want, so this preventative mindset is very much there. For example, people bike a lot over there. They don't generally take cars until not necessary. So so they exercise a lot. Not only gyms, they can also do, like, yoga is becoming very popular in Netherlands. So I think these are very much cultural, and people take an interest in all these things, which I haven't still found in India. So here we are more curative. We, until and unless we get a fever, we don't pay attention to our health. I think diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, cardiovascular diseases are on the rise in India, maybe due to various reasons. There are also genetic reasons, but also lifestyle reasons contribute a lot to that. So I think what we have to do first of all is create an awareness that okay, it pays to invest in preventative healthcare, and once we create that kind of awareness, then we can cater to the market needs of India. In short, I think maybe Arnob, if you want to add something from the Indian side.
Yes, I can say that, see, the old people here in India, those who are 60s, those who are 70s, they are not aware of these healthcare issues. They are okay. They are not much aware of what is happening to their health. So, but the young people now, those are in 80s, 90s guys in India, they are much more aware of this, what's happening to their health. They are gym.
I think it's frozen.
Employees.
Arnav, I think you are frozen, or maybe we can't hear you properly.
These
Maybe you can switch off the video, Arnav.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is my that is what I'm telling, that I mean, the 90s guy, the 80s guy, they are much aware of their health. They I mean, they participate in marathons. They are a health freak. They used to go to gyms. So I think there is a huge opportunity for Indian market. I mean, if we target this particular segment now, so I can say that Fitsurance India have this segment. This is a promising segment for Fitsurance India, and we are actually focusing this particular segment, not those who are in 60s or 70s or earlier.
Right. Answering a question to this particular response. So one thing that came to my mind right now is, so the kind of data or the kind of audience that you're catering towards. So how and what would be your measures in order to collect this data, and how would you like to personalize your service to these particular target audience? So is there any specific roadmap or plan that you're looking forward to?
Maybe Steph or Tommy?
I did not really get the question. I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay.
So my question was, since you have been catering to the needs of the audience, your target audience are the ones who are looking forward in regards to better healthcare. Now, in that case, how do you plan to collect this data? And in order to put it across to the audience in such a way that you provide them a personal customized service. So is there any roadmap that you have come up with, and this is what you would like to implement?
Yeah, so I think what you're aiming at is part we want to do a overall health screening in which we look in a lot of different directions of your health, a lot of different dimensions, so to say. We look at psychological well-being, we look at social aspects of health, and also at a lot of biomedical markers of health. And based on this overall screening, we could point out certain bottlenecks in your health, so to say. For example, I know in my family there's a very high chance for cardiovascular diseases. So for me, it might be more interesting to look at the risk of cardiovascular diseases. A lot of people might have an increased chance of developing type 2 diabetes, so it might be more relevant to screen specifically for type 2 diabetes. And I think in that case, basically it's almost interesting for everybody to get this very holistic or integral health check. And then based on that result, we can really personalize and say, you should do this and such. And it's very, it would be the best thing to monitor this frequently.
Right.
Exactly.
Sorry,
Yes.
you have something to add?
No, of course, I did understand the way you were planning to personalize the experience for the customers, which is something that I really like. So, of course, over to you, Mike.
Okay. So while doing our research, we came across a Medium article about Fitsurance, which says that Fitsurance wishes to provide employers the perfect health promotion-based alternative to the expensive health insurance package of now. So could this be broken down, because medical insurance is one of the most crucial aspects of employment, and it also extends to your immediate family members. So would Fitsurance be able to compete against the prospect of a more expensive medical insurance package?
Yeah, I think I know the Medium article that you are referring to. Yeah, I think so. How I look at this is not really competing. So the thing is, what we want to do, or how we want to promote this is a preventative alternative for betterment of your health. And when you take these costs, so like when these healthcare insurances pay for you, because when you fall sick, or when you have any terminal illness, or when you go for surgeries, or so on and so forth. So some of them are of course unavoidable, but a lot of them are actually avoidable through your lifestyle, so as to say, through a proper diet, through a proper lifestyle, proper exercise regimes, and so on and so forth. So that is what we want to promote, and that is why it is said like we would like to project it as an alternative, because the current healthcare packages or insurance packages which are there, they don't do that. They are just like yeah, so you pay them monthly premiums, and when you need them, they will pay for your costs, for your medical costs, and this is on top of your own risk. So they won't start right away. You have to pay first your own risk of a year, and then only they will start it on. So they are very expensive, and not all of them can afford it. And is actually we seen in US what happens. And I think COVID has actually highlighted this crisis, that if you don't have an insurance, what can happen. So that is where we want to bring in this new initiative or the awareness. So we are not really trying to compete with them. We are trying to raise this awareness that this could be a better alternative to take care of your health, so that you can actually save up on your medical costs or insurance costs at the later stages.
All right. So on that note, with the very last question for today, where would you like to see Fitsurance 5 years down the line? And is there any roadmap or any goals that the team has set for the same?
Maybe first you guys can say on this, Stephen, Tom.
Yeah. So for us, in 5 years, we would like to have the data set completely ready, and that would mean that we have a data set that is very rich of different data. Now we have a lot of healthy people in our data set, and we need to implement unhealthy data from different backgrounds, different ages, different diseases. And if we can track their activity and their biomarkers over time, then we will have a predictive model. This predictive model will be the core vision, the core evolution of our idea. Because measuring, there's money in measuring, but there's big money in prediction models and big data, especially when it's health data.
Yeah. Maybe Arnab, you can say something from your end, and then I will try to sum up at the end.
No, you can carry on with this question.
Okay. Yeah. So I think, yeah, indeed, as it said, because Fitsurance Netherlands is there for now 2 to 3 years in the market, so we can actually think of data science and all those. So that's exactly what we want to have on our Dutch side of operations. Thinking of the Indian side, yeah, we are just starting up. So first, as I said, we want to create the awareness. Once the awareness is created, we want to test whether this is marketable in a geographically vast and diverse country like India. And if that is possible, then we can see what are the various, if there could be various other routes of revenue generation, either B2B or B2C, or we don't know if B2B is working in the Netherlands, it could be that B2C is working in India. So we don't know, we have to test it out. 5 years is a long shot for the Indian operation still, because we haven't still incorporated us. So I would say, yeah, it's mostly short-term goals like validation of the business model canvas, and starting from there on in India. Overall, if I have to give a sum up, how I want to see is I want to see Fitsurance grow as a brand, like how these healthcare insurances have grown as a brand, say for example, but not in the curative sense. I would really like to grow, to see this grow as a preventative sense, so that basically, yeah, people worldwide understand the fact that why it pays so much to take care of your health and lifestyle, and why it is important to stay active. And I think COVID-19 is actually showing this in the form of a pandemic to the whole world, that why is this actually necessary, and why is this similar from any country or from any culture or population. So that's the message I want to propagate.
And I think if I can add like 2 more sentences, I think also the collaboration between the Dutch and Indian firm facilitates a larger or faster growth in this data set. So the synergy again makes sure that we can come to our goals faster.
Absolutely.
Or sooner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Anything?
on that note, since we're also running out of time, if there's any other concluding statements from your end, Arnab. So it was definitely a very wonderful session that we had today with all of you. And on behalf of everybody at Wealthfare, I would like to thank you so much for taking out time and being a part of this session. Of course, it was really informative, and we are definitely looking forward for your venture to have continued success. And thank you so much once again for joining in and being a part of today's session.